What do you guys see? What is Chandler going to do? After that kukri build, I'm really... I'm not in the mood to do this, but I think today's the day that we're going to give it a try. Journeyman Blacksmith application guidelines for the performance test. 1 inch manila rope, standard 2x4, and a railroad spike. Now, the only reason I'm doing this, well, there's a few reasons I'm doing this. There's a few reasons I'm not doing this. You say, if you haven't seen my test on the railroad spike video, there's a couple of them there, and they're very interesting. I think they're very informative. During that testing, I mean, right off the bat, I was like, oh, make one that works, because I used as an excuse that I hadn't made that knife for the performance test, and I attributed a lot of its failure to that. And then a lot of, well, not a lot, but a lot of you guys said, hey, do the test, or make one that will pass. And I don't know if I can. I mean, I would hope that a railroad spike wouldn't pass, actually, because it shouldn't pass. It shouldn't be of the quality of material to pass that test. So that's one thing one reason I'm doing this is to see, well, no, not really. Let me tell you why I'm doing it. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of getting rolled up into it. This video will be titled, Can Chandler Make a Railroad Spike Knife That Passes the Journeyman Master Bladesmith Performance Test? It has nothing to do with whether or not a railroad spike knife is a good knife or a great knife or any kind of knife. It has nothing to do with whether or not a railroad spike knife can pass the test. This today is, can Chandler, it's a personal challenge, can I make a railroad spike knife that'll pass the test? Now, I have to tell you, there is a there's a darker side of this. Somebody went off on me recently. Not that this is bothering me, but the fact of the matter is that if it does pass, that'll be fun. If it doesn't pass, you were right. So, again, this is the test of Chandler. Can I take this piece of garbage steel and generate a blade that'll pass the test? Now, in review, there's several guidelines of the blade and the smith. Actually, it's a very complicated thing. There's time frames involved, and it isn't just passing this test that makes you a journeyman smith. There's much more responsibility on your side. But when it comes right down to the performance test, the knife guidelines are right there. Can be a maximum of 15 inches. This is drawn to scale, 15 inches long, with a blade from the guard or the handle to the tip of no more than 10 inches, with a width, this is just the grind mark here, with a width of no more than 2 inches. All right, that's it. Any handle configuration is acceptable. There is no weight requirement, which is that might come into play when I do a handle, but that's it. All right, 15 inches maximum, 10-inch blade maximum, 2-inch width maximum. And then, as I said in the other video, the test will be conducted once the test starts, you cannot touch the knife again as far as stropping it or sharpening it. The test will be conducted in this order, and that is initially the rope test, rope cut. With one swing, you have 3 tries, but with one swing, you need to sever the rope. Wood chopping, chop through a 2x4 twice, minimum twice. And then shave hair for edge retention. It does say that this test is destructive, which I believe the next part of it will be. But the third part of the test is that you need to place that blade. You need to mark the blade 3 inches from the tip. 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 inches from the tip. Place that in a vise vertically, and then bend that 90 degrees You're allowed 1/3 of the blade to crack, but the spine has to not break. The knife doesn't have to break. So that's a review of the performance requirements on this test. And I'm going to go ahead and give her a go today. It's the right kind of day for me to do that. Actually, I'd rather have some sunshine. Sunshine wakes me up more. But I don't know how I'm going to turn that piece of steel into a blade anywhere near that configuration. But I will tell you this, as much as this spike I can get is going to be in the blade. I know I want weight. So let me get myself set up, get the forge fired up, and we'll see what we can do about creating at least a blade that stands a chance against the test. Alrighty, 15 inches, the length of that amble. So that's my maximum, like I'm going to ever achieve it. And that's 2 inches. So whatever you do, don't let me make that bigger than that. Shit. Don't make me let this get bigger than that. Alright, if you haven't guessed my strategy yet, we are going to utilize every drop of steel in this spike. So this is not at all going to look like our normal railroad spike. I gotta make sure everything comes out even, no folding, no wrinkling. No fish mouthing. I need every inch of this spike I can get. Every inch. Just fighting a little today. I'm not getting the heat I want. Let's get this. At least we're working with one homogeneous piece. They say in the test it has to be carbon steel. Some might argue whether this is or not. It's got carbon. Okay, so now we need to figure out, I'll tell you, I want as minimum tang material used as possible. So I need length and width. I mean, if you look at, this is one of those garden trowels that I make. I mean, that's about the 2 inches there. And we're getting down to a pretty thin knife. But I think I can do that. I think I can do an 8 to 10 inch blade and still get what I want out of it. So let's start widening this thing out. After width and length, I'm going to use the back side of this. Oh man, the handle's loose. Flatter over the horn. Damn it. That's pretty good right there. Just to stretch it in both directions is what I was trying to do. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and just do that for the whole width of the blade. I'm going to turn it around. We'll take it down a little, wide a little, down a little, wide a little, the whole width until we get something that is blade thickness, I think. And then we'll worry about, well, no, somewhere in there, halfway to blade thickness. This back half the same way. Got a little fold from rolling that head. Hopefully being back in the tang will be alright. Clean things up here a little bit. So we are, I mean, if you think about it, we're on our way. We got only that much to go. We don't need to be 15 inches. Like I said, I'd like it an 8 to 10 inch blade is what I'd like, which is about there. So I think we're going to have enough material to pull something off here. Let me thin that back side down some more. I'm sorry that I'm thinking so much, but I'm trying to strategize. Come back at it with the rounding hammer, but on a flat back this time. We want a little width or length, but we really want some width done on this thing. That'll give us both without the exaggeration of the horn. Don't need to go too far. Because that is the tang back there. That's plenty of thickness there. Plenty of thickness. Alright, let's just even up the front side of this and then we're going to start calling something. Start making some decisions. Go back to the rounder on this front. Just get her evened up. Cleaned up. With the bit. Alrighty, so that's my blank. That is the blank. So we're going to start putting some perspective on things here. Tang material, I think I'm going to need at least this much. I need enough there. I can't let the tang break, you know what I mean? So 3.5, yeah, that might even be too much. That leaves me with 8. So even if I got no more length, I'd have an 8-inch blade there. So tang there. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. So let's start bringing that blade back. Turning this thing into a knife. 4-pounder and start doing some persuading. In the element of width. Take my time on this one. On this one, boy, I haven't committed to spine yet. I guess now I have. Clean this point up. It's a little ugly, but it's alright. I'm okay with where it's going. Let's go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. Said if I had made a few of these, I knew I would know exactly where to go, but in this case I'm just taking little by little. Let's just pick up a little more of the blade. I don't know why this fire's fighting me today, but it doesn't want to cooperate, which makes it tricky. Because I know it's not doing a great job of heating, and I don't know why. But it means I'm a little more risky with how long I leave it in there. And I cannot cook this blade. We need every attribute of quality that we can get out of this thing for sure. Alright, let's see what we got for a blade on that right there. If I commit to that length, that gives me just about 8 inches and will grow. I gotta take a little bit more, I think. Just another little bit. Steal a little bit more. We'll be okay with that. I think we will be okay with that. I'll drop that tang down right there. And my friends being committed. We are now committed. For sure. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's got to get us up to. Yeah, that's 9 inches as we stand. Alright, let's work the blade. Again, in this case, very odd. I'm not designing the blade. Hey, let's see how it turns out, which is often what I do. Or I want to design it for a particular task. I guess it is a task. I mean, there's so many things I can do, I think, to help this blade pass the test that I wouldn't do with a normal blade. So we'll see where we go. Alrighty, let's get ourselves a little bit more width here if we can. Remember, we can't go over 2 inches, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. The more blade I have, the heavier the blade, the better it'll be for the rope test and the chopper. The more blade I have, though, that's quenching in water, the better chance I got of snaking. We're towing the line here. Pull those out that we just put in. Go any thinner than that on that spine, because by the time we grind it off, come on now. We gotta make sure we have enough. And we continue down through, and then we'll come back one more time and put that bevel in. What I have is, do I want to leave this tip heavy for chopping? Or will it bend easier with less likelihood of breaking if it's thinner? That's what I don't know. That's what I don't know, children. Oh, let's see what we get here. I'll tell you one thing. Assuming I left myself enough tang, that ain't a very unimpressive knife for a railroad spike. I wish I could heat it. I should go to the propane forge so I can heat the whole thing, but we're going to do this old school-ish. What I know. Plus every bit of carbon I can put in that knife I want in there. Let's just see what we can do. I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind having a bit of a recurve on there. I'm sure that would help with the knife cut. I gotta start heating this whole blade. I can't be working hard yet. Working part of it. This tip here, tell you. Sure is one thin son of a bitch. Sure he is. Am I happy with it? Well, let's see if we got anything to say in the matter. So we are at the sheet, only 1.25 inches thickness, but I can't go anymore. No, it's damn near thin enough on the edge where I wouldn't want to heat treat it yet. Let me see if I can squeeze a little bit more out of that tip. Okay with the width and thickness. That's about all we're going to get out of a spike. Now what I want to do is okay here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more bevel in there because if I grind I'm not going to pick up any width. So let me put a little bit more in. What we got going down here. Some of that crap out of there. I don't need to work again. Thinner than that. Get the other side. Now that's it. I don't think we can pull any more out of that blade. Last attempt at bevel on this side. Let's see how this, I got my nose curving up, I don't want that. I still got to come back and finish towards the handle, but let's get that point done. And maybe if I knew something about cutting rope, a little banana might give it more slicing time, huh? Not in an inward recurve, but in an outward. It is what it is. It's going to be a long-ass kitchen knife is what it's going to be. And we'll get that end relatively straight and evenly sized. It will be what it will be. It ain't going to be pretty. I'm not after pretty. I'm after a lot of blade and length to help me with most of those tasks. Alright, so we got to pull this back part out, and I think we'll be ready to turn around and put that tank where we're going to put it. Getting close. It's only been, jeez, 40 minutes. I'll tell you, man. My instincts right now are saying I've made this knife too thin. I think it's going to break on the chop test. That's what I think. Which of all the tests to fail, I don't want that one to, because them pieces of knives go flying. And I don't know if I'm done using all my pieces yet. So we'll call that good. I bet you are dang near 9.5. 9.5. So we pulled that part out. Let's get a tang on this thing. There's something that we're happy with. We will go from there. Watch me melt it off now. Get it straightened up. You know, I've been doing enough knives lately. It's time to make a set of tongs for knives. Alrighty. You don't need a whole hell of a lot of length. Let's just widen this tang a little bit. Pick up some length. Yep, need some tongage for some knives. I don't think I have any out there in that pile either. Alrighty. Considering the probability that this test will be destructive, especially with the final bend, you gotta kind of gauge how much you put into that thing, huh? Time for some tongage. Let's go ahead and work this out some more. You can tell, but well, let me explain it here. I don't know what shape I want. I really don't. And that's why anybody serious about becoming a journeyman or a master smith, they would know these things. They would know what it takes for a knife to cut rope. What attributes does it take for a knife to chop through a 2x4? All the quenching and tempering stuff too. But there'd be a lot more they know. So total respect for those that are seriously pursuing this. Because I know I might get lucky, but to show up at that test, I guarantee you're going to be totally confident with the effort that you put into things. Congratulations for doing it. I think that's enough tang for me. I think I like that little bit of an angle on there. An awful lot of weight in that tang right now. I'm going to end up putting a cut there. I think I'm going to be okay. I don't need any more tang than I got. Alright, is there any issues with having that tang curved down? At this point, I do not know. My blade is as straight as I want it to be. Okay. That's it, children. Hopefully we didn't go over the 15-inch mark. There's 12. Ooh, we're at 14 inches. Let me get the tape. Alright, let's see what we got going down here. Yeah, we are exactly 14 inches. I'll lose a little bit maybe off the tip when I grind. So that's shocking. 14 inches with, at this point, a 9.5 blade, 4.5 handle. Okay. Hang on, let me throw this in. I'll explain it. When I was working on that tang, I stopped to tell you something I did. If you didn't notice, very often I'll hit at an oblique. I don't know if that's the right term, but at an angle like this. All right. I think oblique is anything less. Never mind. Who cares? As I was hammering, I was actually pushing out too. So in that attempt to form that tang, I was actually I do it all the time. I'm moving the steel with my hammer with the direction that I'm working. And you try that, it can work really well. Just a tip. At least it works for me. Pretty little backside that I'm going to go through a few series of normalizations on this thing. For sure. Because if you don't think turning this into that puts a lot of stress on in the metal, you'd be crazy. So we'll let that one cool down next to the fire, and I'll just do that a few times. I'm going to do it 3 times. Entire day yesterday I was finding the camera. Why don't you move the camera down here, Chandler? Alright, well, this is the first time I've actually had this thing in my hand. I've normalized it 3 times, flipping it each side. Each time almost went for a 4th, so there would be the same on both sides, but it is what it is. I think I'm okay. It's definitely nose heavy, but hopefully I have an idea for a handle material that might help with that. Indexing it wants to roll though, and I'm not liking that at all. If I fatten this handle up, I still can't find the camera. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Let's get a rough grind on it. I'm not gonna go very freaking far with it because focus for Christ. There isn't a whole lot of edge there anyway, and I can almost guarantee you that this thing will come out not straight out of a water quench. It's just too much. And I don't know, I might go to oil just to see if I get enough hardness on it. I don't know for sure, because I guarantee something that thin is going to work. Now, a lot of you guys commented on me not using a respirator. If I'm doing a lot of grinding, I put a respirator on. If I'm just doing a single knife or something like this, I may not. Yes, you probably should. I combat that, I don't know if you can hear in the background, but there's a fan blowing. And I found working on the table as well as working on the grinder, if that fan's blowing, I don't take home as much dust in my nose as I do if I turn the fan off. So it helps. Maybe it's not enough, but it's my choice at the moment. Take it for the whole, there it is, Chandler, for the whole time. Now the question that I have in my mind is, how clean do I want this? I want as much steel in this blade as I can. If I keep it rough like this, is that going to affect me in the rope cut? I don't know for sure. So I think never mind. It doesn't matter. This is what I'm choosing. This is about as far as I'm going to go with it, because I want as much steel as possible. So I'll clean up the rest of it, and we'll be back. I'm a little shocked at myself because I normally go a lot farther than this with that rough grind. Usually I have more material to take off, but this is as far as I'm going to go with it, and I hope it doesn't come back to haunt me. We got a nice flat grind on it. And I didn't even put any more bevel on. I'm really afraid of this thing warping, so I'd rather take the time. It's going to be a slow, arduous process to take that edge down where I want it to be. But I'd rather stand a chance of it not destroying itself in the quench. Because you gotta think about this a second. All right, from my perspective anyway, this video is, can Chandler forge a railroad spike knife that will pass that test? The probability, the only statistical proof is if it passes. The probability is it won't. But that's not statistically proven, because it could be 100 different things that I did wrong, which means I'd have to do it again and again and again. I'd have to increase that sample size. The only statistically inarguable result is passing. So it just makes me anxious, because if this doesn't pass, then I'm going to have to do it again, and I'll be here all night long probably, because that's who I am. So I don't want to. I'd rather take the time. Jesus, now I'm stuck here. Take the time and put that edge on afterwards. But at the same time, I don't want to put a whole lot of time into this, because it might fail in the first place. I'm such, what do you call that? I'm in a mental confliction. I'm a conflicted man. We're going to harden this right now. Y'all could talk to me, because I don't know what to do. Should I go to oil and then not be satisfied and then go to water, or should I just go all the way with it? Railroad spike knives I harden in water. My spines are almost always thicker than that. And if I go this thin, I have on the rough grind, I almost always get a warp. It sounds a bitch, but I normalized it. Let's go. Let's go with water. Go big or go home. I'm doing my best to get this entire blade evenly heated. I certainly know that'll have an effect on things. And we're up to temperature. I'm just going to flip her around, go in one more time. Try to get the entire blade where I want it to be. Evenly heated from tip to tang. Trying anyway. Trying anyway. I think I'm okay with where we're at. Here we go. Gosh, don't make today's day worth nothing. I'm not even going to look at it. It's going to be what it's going to be, or I'm going to redo it. So I'll get a good angle for you. Just like I thought it would. So in we go again. I don't care. I'm going to do it till the steel is where it wants to be. Deja vu from yesterday. You guys suggested an annealing process in between the quenches. Let's do that. I said annealing, and that's really what it is, because it's in a hardened state, or it was. Should have checked to see how well it hardened. I'm sure it was okay for a railroad spike. But in reality, it's going to be more like a few normalizations. Go in, we'll heat her up red, we'll let her cool down black, we'll heat her up red, let her cool down black. Orange, actually. I'll be back when that little dance is over. Chandler's going to try something new. When I'm tense and upset, nothing's better than a good massage to relax the parts of the structure that need relaxing. So I'm going to do that a couple of times during my normalizations. I'm just going to go ahead and gently work the material just to give it a bit of a massage. Maybe things will line up where they're supposed to be. You never know. The test of the smith. This smith is choosing the relaxation method. relaxation, because every time you do that, even on a flat anvil, you're going to put a bit of a curve into it. And I think I can understand structurally if there's some stringular connection, like muscle tissue, right? Which it really isn't. But if those muscles were microns long, like a granular steel, then okay, concept works in my mind. Everybody get happy. Happy, happy, happy. One more time. Alright, a few of you guys called me on not moving the knife on a kukri in the water quick enough. And I just didn't have room to move that blade in there. But we're going to definitely do it on this one. We're going to go in as quick as we can and get that thing moving. As soon as I'm happy with some sort of even heat here. Even heat here. Flip it one more time. Even heat here. Alright, here we go. Let's see what we got. We got a good grip. In quick. Willy Wonka. Much less though. I may try one more time. I just knew that this thin of a blade would be a problem with water. I might try a double quench, whatever the hell it's called, where I do the initial in oil and then go to the water to hopefully pick up the rest of it. I'm not sure. But we will get this son of a bitch straight. I got our own tape. I'll tell you what my next experiment is, because it don't make, I'd be embarrassed to tell you. But if it works, I'll tell you. But here we go. You ready? I'm going to end up cracking this knife before we're done. Can you see it? So, son of a bitch. It was worth a shot anyway. Every single time the other bows went this way, so I actually had a bit of a bow in it, and it kept that bow. Sons of bitches. Time this way. And then I'm going to change my strategy drastically. Shit, good enough for me. There's a bit. Just a bit of a run at the nose. God, it's not horrible. Alright, just that slight little bit at the nose. And a little bit at the handle. I'm going to stick with that. Stick with that. I don't know, maybe I will. It is a test of your smithing ability. I'll tell you, if this handle wasn't, which I'm going to temper that anyway. Can you guys see it? I'll give you enough light. See right in there, there's a bit of a turn. I don't know if I'm a perfectionist or not, but we're going to go ahead and put this thing where it belongs one more time, because that was so freaking close. So freaking close that Maybe everybody is respecting each other enough at this point. Maybe the steel and I have finally come to an agreement. So one last time. How many times do I say one last time on this freaking stuff? Alrighty. Are we going to pull this off or not, children? We're about to find out here in a few more seconds. I'm sorry to keep you coming along, but hopefully you're finding something either entertaining or educational about it. At least don't give up, eh? At least don't give up until the son of a bitch cracks. Fucking snake. God damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I'll be back when it's straight and I'll tell you how I did it. Videotape when I go in, just in case it works. Alright, I'm going to take that. What sacrifice did that cost me in hardness? That's the question. By pulling it out. Now if you take a look, there is someplace in here. See, I don't really see it. I see it in the blade right here. There's a little kamaki in the blade, but I can work that out in the grind, I think. In the edge. But that's it. I'm not going to go any farther. I can't. As hard as a rock. Happy with the hardness. It's almost perfectly straight. Now, one of the things is that, you know, when for the real test, you show up with something like this, the smiths would say, hey, that is not a quality blade before you even run the test. And you don't even get a chance to do it. So I'm going to continue because my point is, can I make a railroad spike knife pass the test? Not can I pass the test with a railroad spike knife. So, man, that little wonka is going to hurt me a little, but we're going to continue. So I got her clamped in, like I said, on a long blade. I used some extra steel as a heat sink in the vise so I can do a variable temper. Remember, this is a competition, or a test, we should say. And at 3 inches up is where I need to be able to bend 90 degrees. So unlike what I would normally do, I'm going to make sure that there's a little extra temper in that spot. It's a test. You're going to design the knife for the test. So here we go. I won't take you for the whole journey. Variable temper, torch on the spine until I'm happy. That's as far as I'm going to take it. I think I'm okay with what I got. Yeah, I'm very good. So can you see the colors? Yeah, right about there you can. Alright, see that? Gold right down to here, but we got blue right here where it's important. I might actually let it soak just a little bit longer. I think I'm okay with it. I'd like a little bit more blue down here. I think it looks good. Looks good for what I would do with a railroad spike. think we're gonna go with that again. I would be confident with that blade right there for anything but a 90-degree bend. I'll tell you that much. That much. But that's what we got. That's what we're going with. Alright. I'm okay with it because, again, if this were a good high carbon steel, I'd want a little more golden down towards the edge, but it isn't. Alright, and it's just not. So that gives me a lot of wiggle room there, I think. I think I'm okay with that. The only thing, and I wish you would have said something, you never harden your knife before you drill the freaking holes. Damn it. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little color on this tang and we'll get some holes in there. We are able to punch the holes in. Everything's good. We're going to do a finish grind. Not the edge yet. We're going to mount our handle. We'll come back and put the edge in. 2 jigs. My first direction is to put a very tapered grind in. Alright, so just to kind of give that edge a little bit more cut and slicing capability, and then I'll go to my second jig that I have, which is a little more aggressive, and I think that'll do the trick. So we got an edge now, but not sharp because I got to put this handle on. So that's where we're going to stop that process right now. I wonder why my quench water does that. It's been staining my my blades lately. I don't know. It's got to be something in my water bucket outside, I bet you. Anyway. Let's get a handle on this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but give me a minute. Everyone to play by the rules. For my handle, I decided to do something I've never done before. Hopefully it is something that I can do. Let's hope that's something that I can do. So, come on, get down in there. Oh, this might be a little bit more of a challenge than I was hoping. Get in there. Let's get you through. Oh, stop now. Prick. First one's going to be the easy one. I thought it was going to be easy. It ain't coming out the other side, you little prick. Yeah, it's coming out enough. Enough to peen it over anyway. Didn't go as planned. But how do you like that for a handle, huh? Didn't go as planned. Next one's going to be even more difficult. I like the idea. Since it's a railroad spike knife, it should have a metal handle. I'll be back. And compensate for the coefficient of expansion of the rivet. Let's hope this one here has enough room to play now. Yeah, much better anyway. I think we can do it. Just get her out the other side. You can do it. Come on, get out there, you son of a bitch. No. Didn't come out. It didn't come out. It didn't come out. That's right. Do it again. Always got to try something new, don't you, Chandler? Let's see if we can get her out of there. Without breaking my freaking knife. We might be petra screwed. Son of a bitch. Well, it was an idea, and I'll explain it when I come back. Chandler seems to sure struggle a lot. I did do everything right. I just didn't compensate for the expansion of that freaking rivet. See, if I had sized it just like that, we would have been in good shape. In the hole or in the hole. So you fill that in, come back and fill this in. That and the fact that I really didn't need to use stainless steel. So I think that was a cool idea if it had worked better, but it did not work. Now I have, look at that, right there. So for a chopper, maybe not the best, but by the time I get this ground down and everything shaped up, I think I'll be in blue shape. How many are you gonna call me stupid for that one? Little grinder detail, that was interesting, but I'll tell you one thing I freaking like. This was my original idea for this handle, because if this blade for some reason doesn't break and I can straighten it back out and reheat treat it, I want to do that. So I want a handle that'll either take the heat or that I can remove by drilling those rivets out and trying something else. So it was no more work than putting a wooden handle on. I could have wrapped something, but I didn't have enough tang for wrapping. It puts the center right there. I mean, it's just like right at the tip of that handle, and I like that. I like that a lot. It feels good. It's got a good index to it, and a little small maybe, but it will do the trick. Let's put the final grind up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not sure how I get all this rust color from my water. I don't know, but I don't care. It's not meant to look great. It kind of looks beat up like it should as a railroad spike. It's adding that steel to the handle. I would bet added 50% more weight to the knife. Now feels like a proper knife in your hand. I got an edge on here. I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah. I hate working with sharp knives. I'm not a knife person, so I'm not used to it. It scares the crap out of me. That is one hell of an edge there. Unbelievable. I don't even want to use it yet because not razor, but it's as sharp as it's going to be. All right, I will put everything together and let's try this test. Enough of this thing for one day. Let's give this thing a test. I'm telling you, I'm not 100% confident in this rope chop thing, but we're gonna find out. Ready? 6 inches up, something like that. I just wish I could get it. It should come this way. Then I'm cutting across this thing. Everything sucks. I can't cut that. I know I don't get enough strength. So here we go. Fuck! Did you see that? Holy shit. First one down. Let's do this one. We're going to find out if my blade is strong. We're also going to find out if it retains an edge. So we're going to chop through right here. I'll tell you, the handle's rolling in my hand. That's one. Let's see if I feel anything. I don't feel anything. Let's chop two here. Again, no touching the blade, right? Or touching up the blade. put my glove on, I just touched the edge of that blade and it cut me. Now I'm gonna rest. Let's do it. Second chop. Dying to know. Got a little knot right there. Work around. Here we go. Ready? Yep, handle sucks. Handle sucks. Alright, let's go out in the light. What's left of it anyway. I don't want to take and remove the scene here because obviously I need to now shave hair. Don't cut yourself getting ready your protection. Chop it in here. Examine the edge. I don't feel any deformations. Can you see anything? I see lots of hair on camera. I don't see any hair on my arm, but let's do it right there. Shit. Where am I? That, my friends, is past test 2. Ball again. Kidding when I said it cut me. Damn thing, where am I? I can't see. Where's the bleeding? Just a nick though. Holy crap, I'm not ready for this. I know you guys are about to cry, aren't you? I think we're all about to cry, but it don't matter. This son of a bitch has been a success no matter what. Rules say 3 inches from the tip goes in the vise. At 3 inches from the tip. 90 degrees. Let me lower your ass. Damn, it's all over the place. It's just a little cut too. Sharp ones bleed the most likely. Alright, do I want to just pull this over with my hand? Or do I not trust that? Let me get my little bender magender. PPE then PhD. Alright, now remember, in the last video, when I was pulling this over, the bar went to 90, but the knife was, you know, it's at an angle in here. So it's not the bar that has to go to an angle, it's the knife. Let's hope we don't die. Are you ready? That's the knife right here, man. I'm telling you, I'm 90. Right? Do you agree? What's the camera look like? Can't see it from so far away. That's beyond 90. That's beyond 90 right there. I'll tell you, this son of a bitch could have gone a lot farther. Did it break? No. We're allowed a crack up to 1/3, I think, or 2/3. It don't really freaking matter because there is no crack. I thought I had some chipping, but it was just some. Wait a minute, let me see. No, it's just my skin and my hair. Unfreaking believable. This knife is easily repairable. It is not damaged. It was not. I mean, it bent to 90. God, I'm gonna watch the tape just to make sure. Hold on. Let me tell if I'm happy with how today turned out. Holy crap. I was pissing and moaning all day, no doubt, because I didn't think that this thing would pass. And I've spent I don't know, at least 8 hours on this thing. Of course, we had all that warping. Look familiar. All that warping and the quench and then, you know, the handle and all that. Yeah, I'm very happy that that work didn't end up in a destroyed knife. This can be reshaped. Right? That's why I put a metal handle on. I throw it in, straighten it up, reheat treat it, everything. So I'm very happy about that. I am perplexed that this knife was able to pass test of railroad spike knife. I don't know what that means for sure, but I do know this, and this is the one thing that I want you to remember. Railroad spike, high carbon railroad spike steel is not a high carbon steel, it's a low carbon steel. It is not your first choice for making a great knife. If you show up at the bladesmithing test with a railroad spike knife, during the review, before you even begin to prove what the knife can do, they will most likely send you home. It is not a smart bladesmith choice. And that you're trying to prove yourself as a bladesmith, all right? So don't do it. However, they never, at this point, they haven't ceased to amaze me. And that's it. I'm not going to go any farther. Lee, I'm sorry to get personal. Lee, Facebook, KMA, man. KMA. Michael, I'm sorry on Facebook for Michael, because he's now going to get all us young Smiths saying, railroad spike's a good knife, it's a good knife. I'm sorry, Michael, but I'm sorry. It's not a... It took the challenge. One railroad spike. Again, handle material was optional, could have been anything. It's in the rules. I just happened to put some metal on there to help balance things out. Hated the handle, it was rolling in my hand, it didn't feel good. But nothing but spike for the blade and tang. So again, I'm sorry, Michael, and the rest of you guys that are going to have to keep correcting when people start saying it is a great steel. But I'm sorry, the proof is right there. It will do something. Okay? It will pass the journeyman test. If, you know, here it's going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm not. It's all in the smith. All right? Even a shitty steel can make an okay knife if you do everything right. And that's pat Chandler on the back today, because that's the name of this video. Can Chandler pass the journeyman bladesmith performance test with a railroad spike knife? And the answer is effing yeah. I can. Give it a try. Catch you next time. Going home and having a happy drink tonight. If you found this video helpful, educational, maybe even if you just found it entertaining, and you want to support me, you can jump back to my channel. There's a button on the right hand side of the screen called support, and it's kind of like a tip jar. You can go ahead and leave Chandler a tip for this video, and that'll help me make some more, I guarantee. Thanks for your support, as always.